there, prospectors. Today we got a dev blog coming from Yager Studios talking about everything that we've all been thinking of talking about for the last couple weeks in the cycle. Yeah, you heard it here. Weapon balancing and power progression within the armor system. So here it is. Let's get into it. Oh, and before I forget, grenades. We're talking about grenades too.
Creative Director on the Cycle Frontier.
Hello, and I'm Michel, Senior Combat Designer on the Cycle Frontier as well.
And we are here today to talk about weapon balancing and power progression.
I just want to say we all are super interested in this. We're all praying for some beauty put into this thing. I really hope you guys at Yager kill this. I hope everybody out there watching is happy with what they say. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see, think that they've already done and should revert. Anything like that, I want to know. Hopefully, you know, maybe through this, somehow I can get, I don't know, I'm nobody, but maybe, you know, the devs can get some ideas if they somehow see my video. So any ideas, put them in the comments. Thank you so much, guys.
We're here today to talk about our kind of high-level goals for these topics. What we're actually doing for the next patch and the upcoming ones, and lastly a little bit about our kind of strategy for how to tune weapons and balancing. So when it comes to power progression, our high-level goal is really about finding that sweet spot where getting better gear is something you want to do and you feel the impact of having better gear, but the disparity is not so great that you can't compete. So we want a person with maybe less good gear to be able to take down a top-geared player, but only if they play really, really smartly and, for example, ambushes them. We've been on both sides of this balance. We've had it be too strong, we've had it be not impactful enough. We're trying to find that sweet spot, and I think right now we're getting closer, but are looking to increase the disparity a bit.
A tiny bit.
A tiny bit. We also get a lot of questions about pricing of late level gear, and this is something where it's tuned for the length of a full season. So we want you to be thinking about what gear to bring in.
You know, I come from Rust, I just want to put out there, and I do agree that like low-level gear should theoretically be able to have a chance to kill high-level gear. I don't think it should be quite as easy as it is currently in this game, but I do think that it should be possible. But I think it should require hitting multiple shots and outplaying the enemy. So I think that they definitely need some work here, and let's see what they have to say.
In whether it's worth the money or not, and that of course changes depending on your income and your wealth. So here we're really taking our time and just checking how the season progresses as players get richer and richer.
Regarding power progression for the 1.3.5, which should happen very soon, we are looking into increasing kind of the effectiveness of the armor at very high tiers, so epic, exotic, and legendary, and same for the weapons. It will be a very slight change, but we're looking at basically what it will bring in terms of change in our data and feedback to see if it's enough or if you should do more in the future.
Another thing we really care about is all weapons having their distinct role in the game, and this is something that we continuously iterate on. Maybe you could tell us a bit about what we're doing for the next patch.
Yeah, one of the issues we have with current weapon is, for example, that the SMGs are a bit underpowered, obviously, because they are competing in situational effectiveness that is also the same as the ARs right now, and also the same as the shotguns, because shotguns are a bit too strong. At the same time, SMGs with a damage fall-off aren't really competing properly with the ARs, and we want to find a niche between these two types of weapons. So with next patch, we'll get the SMGs to be a bit more effective within their intended range by reducing their recoil and improving the mobility when you ADS with SMGs. And same thing as for the power progression change. It's not a big shift, but it should be enough to have an impact, and we'll observe and see how it affects how you play the game to see where we take it from there.
And what about shotguns?
So yeah, I was hinting at shotguns. Obviously, these are some of the weapons that are kind of most problematic for us. One of the main reasons is that the low-tier shotguns are for the trench gun and the bulldog are a bit too effective, which makes kind of the high tier shotguns less interesting because obviously they don't compete as much as we'd like them to do. And since they're very powerful, it overshadows SMGs that are also intended to be competing at the same intended range.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, all of us know, like, dude, if you have a brute versus a trench gun, it gets scary. Anything close range, if they have a shotgun of any kind, it just is like back up, run away, keep your distance. And in the event you're already low, I mean, they're just, they just run at you with no fear, especially if they have a bulldog or a trench gun. I mean, it's like there's just nothing you can do. You might as well just fight and die there, because running away is probably not going to happen well, because they can hit you from far away for 20 damage, if not more. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys are really, what you guys are looking for the SMGs to get buffed, because to me, I think they need to just nerf damage of the shotguns. I think that's going to be a huge part of it. We'll see if they do it. It sounds like they want to more buff SMGs opposed to that, but we'll see what they do.
The main change would be on the trench gun, reducing its damage so that it can't actually 2 shots blue armor anymore. It will require at least 3 shots. It will also make it so naturally the weapon will be less powerful. And
shoots too fast.
The second
Look at it right
change
now.
on the
Look how
bulldog
fast
to
this thing
basically
shoots.
reduce its refire rate.
This thing shoots way too fast.
Consecutive shots will be a bit harder to land. And we're also looking
got
at
the
the
right ideas.
PKR Monstrum, reducing the recoil to make it a bit more competitive, but at the same time increasing the spread.
Speaking of refire rate, something we also get some feedback on is grenade spam.
Yeah, good transition actually. So yeah, that's definitely something we were looking into, and having a delay between multiple grenades.
Nice,
So
that's awesome, because
we are
that's
not
the biggest
set on
thing.
a specific.
That right there is throwing up the whole community. Everybody in the entire community has been getting nade spam like crazy. It's like you get away from one and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good. No, you're not. There's going to be 3 more landing on your feet. So if they put some sort of animation in between each one, that's honestly, damage aside, I'm okay with that personally. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. A lot of people I know think damage needs to be nerfed, but I don't think damage is the problem. I think it's the fact they can just chuck one after the other. It just shouldn't be that way, So let me know what you guys think.
Specific time right now, but it should be enough to allow players to get out of the range of the first grenade before the second one arrives.
Lastly, we just wanted to give you a bit of insight into how we're approaching weapon balancing and tuning now that we're live 24/7. So our really high-level goal there is to not swing metas, but rather make incremental improvements.
What we're looking for is really kind of making sure that if players are comfortable with the weapon, they can still play it for at least the duration of the current season. Big shift in the meta might happen, but not within a single season.
A big part of this is also making sure that we get to gather enough data during a season, because we're just now starting to see more and more people unlock weapons like the Gorgon and the Advocate.
Yeah, that's why we don't make a huge change in the kind of high tier weapons, because we don't have a lot of players actually playing them, mainly because some of the low tier weapons are also potentially too good, which makes players not want to play the better ones. We feel not enough to make any change in the meta of the high tier weapons. That's why you won't see them for now, but it can and will probably happen in the future once more players get their hands on them.
Lastly, I just want to say, keep the feedback coming. We see it as a dialogue with you guys, and it's really an integral part of the process to iterate on weapon balancing. It is you giving this awesome feedback, so keep it coming.
Well, awesome. Honestly, guys, taken away from that, it's like, I'm happy with everything they're saying. So, I really agree with them that they need more info and more, more statistics to make these decisions properly. I know it's easy to say, oh, this thing's broken, that thing's broken, this or that, but without the raw data, obviously it takes some time for them to gather that information. So I'm really happy that they're at least looking at the data, thinking about it, taking players' feedback, all that stuff. I think they're doing great, and I really hope they keep it up. I appreciate the devs working on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys would like to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and check me out on Twitch. Have a good day, guys.